What if I told you that soon your internet connection could be coming from outer space? Starlink, developed by Elon Musk's company SpaceX, currently provides high-speed internet to over 4 million users worldwide. You might be thinking, what's impressive about that? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Because the way that Starlink delivers that internet connection is a little unique. First, we need to talk about how most people receive their internet connection. Across the UK, Europe, and the US, broadband connections are generally delivered via either a fiber optic or copper cable buried underground or overhead straight into your property. Now, whilst this method works well for most, there are a few cases where a traditional connection just doesn't cut it. If you live in the Scottish Highlands, then the chances of you streaming that latest Netflix series in glorious 4K aren't great. In fact, according to Ofcom, over 30% of households in the UK, including many rural communities, still don't have access to full fiber broadband, leaving users stuck on an old and often unreliable copper connection. In a world of relatively unrestricted travel, we find ourselves looking for an internet connection in some unusual places, whether that's on the road, in a camper van, on the water, in a houseboat or cruise ship, or even up at 30,000 feet. Whenever we're on the move without a wired connection, often we find ourselves crossing our fingers and hoping that 4G or 5G connection will keep us online. But with more and more people choosing to work remotely and looking for that nomad lifestyle, broadband on the go is no longer a luxury, but a necessity. So, how does it work? Starlink provides its connection via its fleet of over 6,800 satellites, with more being added all the time to help expand its reach and capacity. Users connect to the network using an antenna, which tracks the satellites as they move through space. The network currently boasts download speeds between 50 and 200 megabytes per second and has even delivered up to 500 megabytes per second in beta tests. As well as delivering impressive download speeds, Starlink also achieves low latency, often below 30 milliseconds, crucial for real-time applications like online gaming and video conferencing. This low latency is made possible by Starlink's low Earth orbit. A standard satellite sits around 35,000 kilometers above the Earth, whereas Starlink satellites stay below 1,200 kilometers, which might seem low in comparison, but it's still over 3,600 Eiffel Towers stacked on top of each other. Starlink satellites use lasers to transfer data between each other, ideal for long distances such as across oceans. They then connect back to ground stations, which are situated across the globe, to link up with the rest of the internet. Despite doubling its users in the last 12 months, Starlink still faces challenges ahead. Space debris, often called space junk, consists of defunct satellites, spent rocket stages, and fragments from collisions, all orbiting Earth at high speeds. Each Starlink satellite has a lifespan of about 5 to 7 years. This means SpaceX must continuously launch replacements, increasing operational costs and further contributing to orbital congestion. Starlink satellites reflect sunlight, creating bright streaks in the night sky that interfere with astronomical observations. Despite mitigation efforts such as sunshades, this remains a concern for scientists. Starlink's signals can be affected by heavy rain, snow, and thick cloud cover, which may lead to intermittent service disruptions. And finally, the initial cost of the equipment, around $599, and the monthly fee, around $120, can be expensive for many potential users, particularly in developing countries. This limits Starlink's accessibility in the very regions it aims to serve. Stick around for more crumbs of digital wisdom, hit subscribe, and catch the next one.